And here we go. We do have the confirmation. Zest taking out Bjorn 2-1. Very valiant effort that Bjorn had. I want to say a better showing than he's had against Zest anyway in a while. But as we said, Zest, very much a scary Protoss player. One of the most dominant in these ESL Cups.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, he is a beast. And oh god, the lobby is ticking down. I did send an invite to Kuro, but it looks like she's not going to make it into game number 1.
No, it's a best of 5.
It's a best of 5, so Kuro will be joining us for game number 2.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, Sounder. She's coming. She'll be here soon. Not quite yet, but at some point in this series, as the players have done their vetoes, we're getting into Romanticide.
It's getting held up a little by customs right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is the thing.
You know, we got to keep Asia clean, okay? Like, the Asia server, it can't be contaminated by the lobby bug, okay?
Gotta just, what's it called? What's the thing in XCOM when they go into the container? Well, not container, but you know what I mean. And speaking of knowing what I mean, we are now here on Romanticide LE. We're here in the top left-hand corner map, spotting all the way in the top left-hand corner. The red Zerg player coming out from Atlanta, Korea. He is the top ZBT player in this bracket anyway, but now ain't got to worry about that matchup anymore. We have, representing KaiZ Gaming, KZG. He is Solar.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide LE for the first time this week in ESL Open Cup number 51 Asia, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, RYEG. It is Zest. The ESL Open Cup number 50 champion.
He was, yeah. Narrowly defeated Trap in the grand finals that week.
I believe it was a reverse sweep.
It was.
Wasn't it?
I think it was Trap came closer reverse sweep, and then Zest took the final game. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong there.
It did go to the ace match. It did.
It did. It was also one of our weirdest finals that we've had, but it was a PvP, so... What were we really expecting?
Yeah, it was very... I don't think we had a game longer than 10 minutes. It was... Oh god, it was chaotic, it was beautiful. It's everything you want to see in a PvP, but we are here with our very first PvZ. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Yeah, we got 2 PvZs here in the semifinals. And both of them are going to be pretty distinct, I feel, just looking at the playstyles.
Oh yeah.
And looking at the players who are there. Dark is going to try to pull something, but Solar, as we said, he's a bit more, I don't want to say refined, but he's definitely someone who, thinks before he does stuff.
Definitely. Maybe not as much as someone like Ragnarok, but he's got a really good forehead on him. And I'm getting some flashbacks. I miss this. And I don't, but I do miss this. Like PvZ, if you recall, Zest has been very fond of his Skytoss style of going into Void Rays, of going into double Stargate play.
Almost to a fault.
Almost to a fault. We're never gonna forget that 1 week of Romanticide, are we? It's
No, we are not. Where we had, it felt like an experiment. Zest versus Rogue on Romanticide versus Zest versus Stats on Romanticide.
Yeah. It was really cool to see 2 different Protoss players go up against Rogue and like kind of execute a similar style but in 2 different ways. And I assume Zest is going to do the same. I don't think we've been able to cast Zest versus Solar in recent weeks against each other. Again, we did see a lot of Rogue. Yeah, so we'll see if Zest is still, if he still wants to go for that kind of Skytoss style and how Solar responds to that.
That we will. Solar, he's not as comfortable with the late game as someone like Rogue is, but he doesn't shy away from it either. If he can end the game by the mid game or the early late game, that's where he'd rather end it. But that's not exactly what ends up happening on Romanticide. Games do drag on for quite some time.
Yeah, it definitely can. And we'll see if that happens here, as so far we only have a single Stargate. We did have a Void Ray first, but Zest is going out with an Oracle.
Interesting. I'm more used to the other way around, if I'm being honest here.
Yeah, the Oracle is delayed, but, you know, it is also unscattered a little bit because the Void Ray was able to take out the... Oh my god, he actually dives on top of the Queen.
I should be able to get it. No energy for transfuse. Ooh. Nice little bit of... I'm not sure if I can even call it surf stepping, but... Animation canceling? Question mark? Can you do that with beam units? Well, whatever it was. He turned off the beam, he turned it on. Queen did.
Yeah, he chased down...
Off, goes on.
It does. Meanwhile, there is a bit of a Ling run by, but there are plenty of adepts to protect the third base, and there we go. This is what Zest has been fond of. But again, a bit of a different opening to eventually get into this double Stargate.
Yes. Feels like the third base was a little bit quicker than what he normally would have. Also going for the Twilight Council and the Forge a lot quicker than I normally expect. So this is just really, once again, just refining a build that he was already comfortable with down to, I don't want to call it the bare minimum, but he's sandpapering it, if you will.
Wait, what is it with you and sandpaper this week? You're all about the sandpaper.
I might have been trying to sharpen the knife over Christmas.
Look, I got a bunch of sandpaper for Christmas, okay? I
want to bring it up.
God damn it. But you're right. Like, it's very possible that maybe Zest was inspired by how Stats was playing, because normally we would see Zest commit and get a handful of Void Rays out first before eventually going into the Forge and the Twilight Council. This time, much faster.
A lot more refined, and part of me also has to wonder how much of that is influenced by the fact that he is going up against Solar, somebody who... Again, he is very different from the other sort of players Zest has faced, like Rogue, or like, well, I don't think he's went up against Dark in recent times, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. It could be, you know, a player thing. What I'm concerned about, and what Zest was really struggling with against Rogue in his series overall, not just on Romanticide, was establishing a fourth base. Here, especially on Romanticide, he was able to get 3 bases up and running pretty easily, which is great, but the Zerg player in Rogue was able to do such a good job at just containing him to 3 bases and just not allowing him to expand. So that could be the name of the game here for Solar.
But at the same time, it seems like Zest as well has, specifically on Romanticide, improved on that. He's completely walled off his entrance to Natural, and I was just going to focus on expanding to the left, or to the west.
Yeah, I love this, honestly. This is great. This is a great way as a Protoss player to just really turtle up, just completely shut off that entrance into the third and Natural, and just focus everything you have on the fourth base so that you can get your economy up and running and then just quickly get into carriers.
And seeing as how Zest's style, where he is just looking to max out and then end the game, not be spending too long gaining too much of a bank. 4 bases, totally fine.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's kind of what you want to be on. We'll see if he decides to move out with this. Again, like, his army is so minuscule. Like, he's got the bare minimum here. Like, he has to rely a lot on stack defense and his storms. Oh god.
Which he's not in range of whatsoever. A lot of Hydras coming in. Good storm. Zones out the entire Hydralisk army over here.
Yeah,
and now Zest's really got to take this seriously.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, Solar, he has finished droning up. He's up to 83 workers, and now he's even brought the Queens over. He's got a creep highway going on. He wants to try and break Zest here, at least deny this fourth base.
He's trying to get some storms up. No, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Like, force fields. But if you think about it, storms are kind of like force fields, except they hurt.
Yeah, that they do. There's still a couple of Banelings left, but 2 more High Templar coming to reinforce.
Pop in that battery overcharge, and that is going to be just enough to chase Solar back. He's going to be looking to make use of this creep highway to make sure he can get away with as many units as possible. But Zest, he is chasing this down, does not want to overextend the creep.
Oh yeah, he does not want to overextend. Yeah, that was a beautiful defense, and we were talking about it, mate. The fleet beacon is done. So now with 4 base economy, carriers are going to be on the way, and Solar, like, you can go up against carriers with pure Hydra, but up to a point. Eventually you need Vipers, or you need Corruptors, or something else on top of that.
which Solar is going to take a while to get into. Still on Lair Tech at the moment.
Hmm.
I believe he did finish a Infestation Pit earlier on. No, he didn't. That was oh, he didn't.
Yeah, he was. I mean, to be fair, like he's ramping up for a second attack. We've got a lot of Lings on the way, a lot of Ling Bane. Like he's looking to end the game here and now with what he has. Like there's no Infestation Pit. Oh god, a couple of Immortals.
And that's actually what worries me. Like I feel like now Zest, he's in an even better defensive position. Solar, I mean, he did get a little bit of value there, taking out one Immortal before the big engagement could happen, but he still has to contest with these Storms, with these Archons. Okay, maybe a little bit of a premature battery overcharge could be what costs us the game over here.
And that was it. That was the last Storm. No more Storms left with this army. No more High Templar. It's just like these ground-based units and a couple of Void Rays.
And sure, Archons can tank quite a number of hits, but there's no zoning potential whatsoever for Zest right now. Which is why he goes for the run by!
Oh my god, he's gonna get the Evo Chamber! Oh god!
Oh no! Retargets onto the Ling Bane, the last thing those Zealots wanted to do.
And now there's more Zealots in the main base, and he pulls the entire army back of Solar. That's exactly what Zest wanted. Zest, he was almost broken. He had no more High Templar with his army, no more Storm. The carriers weren't there yet, but he was bored just barely enough seconds to reinforce this army at the 4th base.
This is a real 90 chess move.
Yeah.
Or shall I say a jungle chess move.
It was like on a knife's edge, like, but is it enough? Like Solar, he's still trying to break through.
Trying, but not quite getting there. There's not a lot of carriers out right now for Zest. Only 2 of them in almost infestors. Interceptors just about dealt with, but even still, you do not want to tangle with that ground army unless you know for certain you can deal with it. Look at how much storm potential Zest has got.
He's got so many storms, more Zealots here in the main base. There's Zealots all over the place, causing havoc in the bases of Solar, forcing him all the way back. Meanwhile, there's more carriers on the way, more storms, and still no Infestation Pit. Like, he's stuck on this Lair Tech. Like, the only thing he's gonna have going for him is 2-2 once that finishes up.
So remember what I said earlier? Solar does not shy away from the late game. Well, I feel like he heard me and he said, "Oh, I'll show him.
I'll show him. I'm just gonna do nothing but Lair Tech." And like, he's got a decent economy. Like, again, he's got 81 workers. He's got a good bank. He's got good bases. But it's just his army. It's getting worse and worse as time goes on. Like, he's on a timer. He has to end it soon.
Yeah, either end it soon or try to get his transition up and hope for the best. Zest, he's already maxed out. He doesn't have a very ideal offensive army, but even still, he can still slowly make his way across the map and just be a force to be reckoned with. So many storms. Yeah,
he's got so much going for him. Motherships on the way, with just more Zealots in the main base that are just keeping Solar busy. Like, Zest, his goal, his like winning like move was just defend until I'm maxed out, you know? And that's exactly what's happened. Zest, he's close to maxing out. He's now finally pushing out with this army, and what does Solar have?
I just continue to be pleasantly surprised. I'm honestly in a little bit of... I'm super impressed right now, Light, with how Zest was able to refine his style, specifically on Romanticide. GG is called Zest taking game #1 of the best of 5 semifinals.
That was beautiful. That was...
That it was.
GG, well played. Zest knew what his win condition was. When it comes to, like, a lot of people might view that and be like, what was Solar doing? Solar, as you said, he wanted to end the game with Hydra Ling Bane. And you totally can. It's just you're kind of all in, essentially, because as we were pointing out, there was no Infestation Pit, there was no switch into Infestors with Microbial Shroud or Vipers with like Yoinks or Corruptors. It was all on Hydra Ling Bane, and sometimes you gamble and sometimes you lose, you know.
But you know who didn't lose? Sando in the chat, as we now have been able to get Kuro into the Asia server, into this lobby. Group Please is now going to be redeemed. Or delivered, rather. You already redeemed it a while ago.
Yes, we apologize, but Group is here. Kuro, aka 16 Squad Sanseki, our Polish observer, has joined the chat, and she'll be joining us for this cast. Kuro, you're muted right now. Kuro,
Good morning.
Guten.
Good. Would the both of you
Yes.
like to cast? I'll sit back and observe.
All right.
Okay.
Give that 30 hours a little bit of a break as we load in onto Submarine. LE, the LE submarine of which we all live in. We all live in the LE submarine. The LE submarine. The LE submarine. But some of us thrive in it. Like the red Zerg player over here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We're representing KZ Gaming. KZG. He is Sola.
And in the top left player of the map, that is a map, the submarine, Ellie, we have the blue player representing Rise Your Edge Gaming. RYEG. We have Zest. Can you tell I slept a lot last night?
Yeah. Sound
Don't worry about it.
refreshed and what have
Don't
you.
worry about it.
Raise
But
your
yeah, that's nice.
oh right.
We started with a nice hatch block. I mean, base block, I guess, from Zest.
Yeah, forced to take that unnatural position there. Very exposed actually here on Submarine. I
Yeah.
gotta tell you, Kuro, I feel like we're getting a little bit of whiplash here. We went on to Romanticide, right? The most macro map in the current map pool, and as we saw, Zest wanted to go for the late game. Now we're in Submarine. My eyes are on Sola right now. My eyes are on Sola to try to get an army out quick, try to end the game as fast as he can.
I think he's gonna do it again. I don't think this is gonna be a long game.
Fingers crossed.
Because I'm casting.
Yeah, that's. Hope you're gonna get your points worth there, Sando. Sando.
I mean, it depends. It depends if Zest is prepared for whatever's coming. Right now it's just 4 links, so like, it's not a huge deal. But there is no wall yet, so just gotta be careful.
Yeah, at the very least, Soul's gonna be able to get quite a lot of scouting information out of Zest over here.
Yeah, but Zest does see the links though, so he should be like able to fix the wall before anything happens. So everything's fine so far.
But what if, instead of a wall, you have an adept that kills the lings before they reach?
What if the adept dies to the links because it's a single one?
But what if? Counterpoint. I'm not gonna come up with one. Think of one yourself.
Yeah, we have a wall. We also have a Twilight Council and a Robo, and we have 2 adepts. And I'm thinking if we're going glaives. No, sorry, that's a start.
Potentially, we don't have too many gateways right now here, Kuro. So I'm okay. Now he's starting to add more. I was hoping that this would be Dark Shrine, since you don't need that many DTs to really mess up a Zerg player's day. But it is going to be glaives, but a bit more of a conservative version. Not the 6K kind.
I guess glaives make a lot of sense considering he forced that unnatural base, because like adepts will just like jump between the 2.
Yeah, ideally what he wants to get done right now. A lot of links trying to assert their map control. And they kind of get it.
Kind of. I mean, really, he's bringing adepts back anyway to get them with the Orb Prism. And Solar is about to scout.
Yeah, you see that Twilight Council.
Yeah, he can probably guess what's coming, considering there's more and more adepts popping up. And Road Run goes down.
There's a Road Run. Alright. I got worried for a sec there, Kuro.
Yeah. No. When he saw the adepts moving up out on the map, he's like, yeah, I know what this is.
You think you can deal? No, who do you think I am? Is what Solar's saying right now. He's got a very nice creep connection in all of his bases. Looking to be pretty fine, but he does still have to be on top of that. Those shades, right? He cannot afford to neglect even a single one. Doesn't take that many glaive depths to mess up a mineral line.
Kind of interesting that he instead of like already flying the warpies like to the other side of the map, he instead focused the Overlord. Like he didn't want Solar picking there.
Yeah, I mean he's already been scouted once. He does not want it happening again, I guess. Is this really saying stay out of my area?
That's a lot of queens. I I mean, those Glaive Adepts could still take those queens. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah, but it would have been a risk.
oh, and here we go.
Maybe shading. Will they come?
No, he's gonna go to
shade?
the
Not
third.
quite.
Yeah, he just baited all the queens and roaches. But there is
but
a
this one spine. Funnily enough, yeah, it's keeping all of these adepts back. Another shade goes in. He may commit to this one. Does not. I believe there were lings in the area. Not too many queens and roaches over here. But still, if they buy enough time for Solar, Zest is not going to be able to do much of these steps.
I mean, in the same time, Zest is already preparing for the next phase as he's making Immortals. Like, he sees the roaches like, yep, time to transition.
Yeah, absolutely what he wants right now. Not getting too much damage done, but I suppose just keeping Solar back and on through bases is...
Look how many
it's at least something. They're nice and spread out, too. Well, not spread out, but it looks like they've got space. You know, they don't look too cramped.
Yes, keep your distance.
Ideally, not like these adepts. They'll crunch together. There's shit going in.
Shade the links. Nah.
Shade does not go in. Shane said, well, I guess it doesn't really go out either, but...
I thought he shot his own StarCraft, but there was a link there. Okay.
Was, adjacent. Yeah, who knows? Could have missed the link.
I like this small warping of StarCraft just to kill the vision for Solar.
Yeah, actually, this is something that unironically helps us quite a bit. Make sure that Solar doesn't get any vision, doesn't know about how many Immortals Zest is going to be moving across the map when he decides to push out.
The
Actually
Adepts
commits
almost
to shade
got
back.
trapped.
They did. But this is Zest we're talking about, not the Wing Commander.
Actually, the Adepts went all the way back. All the way back home. I don't think they need it necessarily, but I guess Zest is preparing for what's coming.
Part of me wants to say that Zest didn't intend to move them all the way back, but because of the size of submarine, they shaded and Zest thought, oh, right, the size of this map.
Yeah, because it looked like the StarCraft drop was a good distraction, like the whole army was pulled, but the Adepts were also going home, so nothing else happened.
Yes, we're going home. A massive run by here. Solar, he knows he's got an army. He knows that Zest is ramping up for phase 2. Able to surround all of these Immortals.
Oh, by Immortals.
Four of them. Going down like that. That is value.
See, this is a swarm attack. He just had bajillion of links, that just pure Ravagers, and like just swarm the Protoss. Just go. He was just waiting patiently, making an army while Zest was trying to harass, and there's like, yep, I'm just going. I'm just gonna like roll over your base.
Yeah, who needs to attack when you get a lot of lings?
Yeah, that's what the Adepts deal with Ravagers fairly well, as long as they don't die. But
that's a bit if. That's a big if. As long as they don't die.
Yeah, because I was just looking at those Adepts and like, they were doing very well, like the Ravagers were falling down, but then the Adepts were as well. Well, I guess not.
GG. So we're gonna be tying up that series sideways 1-1. Actually, not the shortest series, not the shortest game we've casted, Kuro.
Oh no. I wonder what was my shortest. I think my shortest might have been like 230?
I think it was a failed proxy by someone.
I think I casted like a 230 game.
We have had like a solid like 2-minute game from Kuro before. It's oh my god. But GG, like Zest, he was doing a really good job at like keeping all his adepts alive and not like overcommitting. But as we saw, like when the attack happened, all 4 or 5 Immortals were just immediately surrounded and killed. Like that was an expensive loss.
Yeah. Those 4 Immortals, I was like, oh yeah, Zest is preparing, he's making Immortals. Those 4 Immortals were just gone.
Then,
they barely even contributed.
This is, what's that movie I'm thinking of where they had the scene where they're showing off the new technology or what have you, and then it just breaks down.
Yeah, pretty
It
much.
was like a new race car or something. I don't remember.
I'm watching it again on the stream, and they just got swarmed by links. There was nothing left.
It's pop.
Yeah,
Never gone.
As soon as that happened, that was game. Like Zest, he needed them to help deal with the roaches and the ravagers, and now all he had left were just adepts.
Yep.
Which did do decently against ravagers, but they also died. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the important point. Like, if you want to deal with ravagers, you can't die.
Then what's the point?
Yeah.
With that, I'm gonna leave you to it. So enjoy the rest of the cast, everyone.
Thanks for the cast.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Kuro, for joining us. For those wondering, hey, who's Kuro? So Kuro, she is normally handling
my boss.
She is the co-founder of the CranKy Ducklings alongside myself. You know, we've been here since its inception. Together, we also run StarCraft Esports on Twitter, SC2 Birthdays on Twitter, as well as the sign-up page on Wikipedia. Like, we do a lot together. And
the unofficial StarCraft Esports, mind you.
Yeah, the better one. And yeah, she also normally does the production and the observing for our amateur events on Friday, so Sea Duckling Open and Mashal Swan Open, as well as our Sea Weeklies on Saturdays, which is Grand Platypus Open. And if you want to hear more from her, then you can save up and use your channel points to redeem a Croup Please for 16k.
But we recommend doing it in a tournament. She's a little more awakened.
That's fine. It's more funny this way.
What time is it in Poland right now?
It's like midday there. She's fine. It's like noon.
As we load into Jagannatha LE, we're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The red Zug player coming down from South Korea. He is representing KZ Gaming. KZG. We have Sola.
Going for the pool first, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, RYEG. It is Zest. Are you okay?
Just hit my mic.
Oh god. Yo, Sola's being cheeky today.
Yeah? Of course, I'm seeing this coming out from Solar tonight. But then again, this is also his first CVP.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like Zest, he blocks the natural. It's like, man, I don't even want my natural. I'm just proxy hatching you.
This is my natural now. Look at me.
Look at me. Oh god. And of course we did have a pool first. This does get scouted by Zest with his pylon. He sees all these things. He is aware of the opener that Solar went for.
And he's going to be looking to fill up his wall quickly as he can. A little bit supply capped, but no biggie really. Does have just about what he needs to take out this proxy, and yeah, 2 adepts being chroned out. On a really long map like Jagannatha, I can't imagine Solar getting much done here.
He better plug up that hole, by the way. Like, the Lings are slowly getting across the map. It looks like, okay, the Adepts, they should just barely get in time, and Solar's aware of this. He doesn't even commit.
Yeah. So a bit of a cheeky opening, but we're kind of getting to the same endpoint. Actually did delay the natural from Zest for quite some time, actually.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So the Adept... Or not the Adept, sorry, the Zealot. That's a pretty expensive tier 1 unit.
Yeah, for those wondering, like, about that hatch block, that is the goal of that hatch block. It is just to delay the Nexus and force out a Zealot and, you know, force a lot of lost mining time as well, as a lot of probes were forced off the line. So, again, it isn't really like an all-in or anything. It's just a way to put the Protoss player behind economically.
Yeah, if you cancel and your drone gets killed, it's not too much lost minerals.
Yeah, definitely.
And Zest is doing what he did in game number 1, not going for the immediate glaives like, you know, submarine. instead of opting for that Stargate play.
Yeah, and we'll see how he's able to execute this, because unlike Romanticide, where Romanticide you can just wall off and you're safe, like your natural and your third is safe, Jagannatha is a little bit more open. There are a lot more avenues of attack, so it can be a little bit more difficult to kind of turtle up and secure your 4 bases.
All you gotta do is Haluk on the ramp. And we'll bait them into that little choke point. One good storm. That's pretty hard to do, actually.
It'd be great if we saw it. But that is something that we did see Zest he neglected in game number 1 and he didn't need. Is something like sentries for force fields. Like we've seen it can do wonders against Lingbane Hydra, but he was cutting corners. He was being as greedy as possible, and we saw like it was kind of on a knife's edge, like his defense every single time. He just barely had enough storms. And there were even moments where he didn't have storm, but because of the Zealot run-bys, like he forced Solar back. I want to see more of that. We'll see if it's possible here on Jagannatha.
Well, I gotta say, it's looking kind of likely so far. Did he get a Void Ray? He did. All right. Did get a Void Ray out, so far, yeah. Similar opening to game number 1.
Yeah, Void Ray first into that Oracle that he did go for. And there it is, second Stargate.
You love to see it.
So we were just waiting for that to confirm that he is opting to go for Void Rays.
Or is he? I'm looking at the production tab. All right, he is.
Yo, we're not casting Nina, okay? He's not gonna go like mass Oracle. Wait, was it Zest who did that?
But he did.
Yeah.
He did.
He did. You're not
I don't
wrong.
think it was Jagannatha he did it on, but Zest did go mass Oracle at one point.
Yeah, that was... It's crazy when that did happen. So it is possible for him to do, but he's playing this a little bit more standard, getting a decent amount of worker kills.
Yeah, he gets a decent scout as well with them adepts. Just keeping Sola as behind as he possibly can while he starts to ramp up. Once again, going to go immediately into the Forge. Twilight Council shouldn't be too far behind.
Yeah, exactly. Again, like Zest, the way that the meta has shifted when it comes to this playstyle, you know, you want your Void Rays initially, but of course that does force Solar to go for Hydras, so you need to get out like High Templar, Archon, Charge Dots. That's what you need to help defend those Void Rays and go up toe-to-toe against Lingbane Hydra.
Or pray that they go for Ling Hydra and then just get mass charge lit.
That could work too. Yeah, you're not wrong.
That is the ideal for I think any Protoss player out there.
For sure.
Even sometimes they're like, that feels so satisfying.
I guess the big question is, like, is Solar gonna switch anything up? Like, so far he's got a decent amount of Lings, like he's working on his Hydras. Is he gonna throw down an Infestation Pit?
I feel like he kind of has to, right, on a map like Jagannatha, but then again, he didn't have Romanticide, so...
Yeah, what I'm concerned about is, like, where's the 4th hatchery? Where are the drones? Solar, he stopped at 55, and he's been at 55 for a while now. I've been waiting, like, is he gonna keep droning up, or is he just gonna make nothing but units and go for a big all-in? It kind of looks like that's what he wants to do. He's a little bit supply blocked, so it's kind of hard to tell, but... Yeah, like there's no sign of a 4th, and that's a big tell. And Zest confirms that he's looking for the 4th.
Now he's gonna have to get real ready here, throwing out some pylons for it. Gonna be looking to throw down some shield batteries too, a little bit too far from nexuses to really get any battery overcharge in. But it still does help stem the tide of the Zerg.
I think
for a little while.
Yeah, I think he's gonna hit at the perfect time because you know what, the stack defense isn't ready. Like there's no shield batteries. Like what is there?
A whole lot of nothing. Zest is teching into a lot. He's getting charged. He's getting storm, but he doesn't have any of it yet. The wall wide on open. Sentry gets a force field at the last second, and it gets taken out as well. A lot of infrastructure starting to get taken out.
Yeah, and we do see like it took Zest too long to figure out that this was a big 3-base all-in, that Solar was not droning up at his 3rd base whatsoever, and now like the Lings they get in, like Zest is already losing so much.
And there we have it. GG is called. Solar very quickly going to be taken into match point. Doing basically what he did in game number 1, but better.
You were talking about it. There were no banelings there. It was just pure Ling Hydra. You stop workers at 55. You don't even get a 4th hatchery. And you just make nothing but Ling Hydra push out across the map. And Zest was not ready.
Not at all. And I mean, again, I guess once again goes back into what you were saying. You know, Jagannatha, it's a lot more difficult to turtle up compared to Romanticide. And you can see that Zest tried to towards the end there.
Yeah.
He blocked off one attack path, but there were 3 available to Solar.
Exactly. He walled off his third, which was great, but his natural was exposed. He didn't have any stack defense whatsoever. Like, all the buildings that were morphing in were pylons. Like, there weren't any shield batteries or cannons. Storm was like a third of the way complete, so he didn't have that ready. He had a bunch of High Templar doing nothing. He didn't even have Archons. Like, ugh.
Now, hear me out, Light. Fort Nexus, just for the overcharge.
Uh-huh. Yeah?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Nah. Mate, that's an expensive overcharge, man.
Yeah, but imagine if it doesn't get targeted down by the Hydras. Alrighty then, we now spawn in onto Pillars of Gold. LE, holding up the rest of the current map pool, also LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way to the top right-hand corner map. The Red Zerg player, now on match point, only has to win 1 more to make it to the finals to face either Dark or Trap. We have the top ZVT player, and now looking like a very, very formidable ZVP player, representing KaiZ Gaming KZG. It's Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have one of the best Protoss players in South Korea in the world, the blue Protoss player representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, RYEG, who was able to win game number 1 with his lovely Skytoss style, but it's been denied here in game number 3. Can he bring it back? It is Zest.
Spam this cookie for our Wookiee.
Wookiee? Who are you calling Harry right
an
now?
Old alias of Zest. It's an old alias of Zest. Before he settled on Zest.
Oh boy, yeah. So that was a very interesting game number 3. Again, so far from what we've seen, it does look like Solar wants to avoid that like late game scenario against Zest, and it's on Zest to scout, to really get a good glimpse of what Solar's doing. Otherwise he's just gonna be caught off guard, and it can just be GG just like that.
But are we actually gonna see that this game?
Ooh.
So far, not really.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. So far, everything's pretty standard. Like Solar, he didn't go for a hatch block or anything crazy like that. So I'm sure Zest is feeling a lot more comfortable here in game number 4.
And especially considering he is on Pillars of Gold, it's going to be a while before there's going to be any action on one half of the map or the other. Usually it's more, fights for map control.
Yeah, and similar to Jagannatha, like, this map is a lot more open. It can be more difficult for a player like Zest to defend. It kind of, he's relying on making sure his defenses are in the right place to where the attack path is. Otherwise, yeah, Solar, he could just go for another big like Ling Hydra timing.
That's what Nexus is for, Ed.
Just build Nexuses. That's all you need.
Yeah. What are you gonna do against a pyramid? Nothing. It's a powerful shape.
Yeah. Gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'm at the middle level. Lower
Exactly.
middle level, but
Okay, so the question is going to be like, is Zest going to go for a second Stargate here, just like he did in the previous games, or is he going to switch things up and throw down a Twilight Council afterwards?
I mean, I feel like at this point you gotta ask, what would the point of just going single Stargate be? What can single Stargate really bring to the table that double Stargate can't?
Yeah.
Which, in theory, you get a couple more resources to, I don't know, maybe get some upgrades quicker, or maybe get some a base quicker, or what have you, but doesn't often happen like that.
Yeah, typically if you go Stargate into Twilight Council, the goal is to deny scouting. Like, you have your Oracle and your Void Ray to kill any Overlords and kill any Lings to make sure your opponent doesn't see that you're like sneakily going into a Twilight Council. But again, that isn't necessarily what Zest is going to be going for here. He has done so in the past, but of course, there we go.
Double Stargate coming out. Yeah, love to see it.
Does Solar love to see it? Is that that's the question?
Depends. Maybe if he just goes mass Ling Hydra, he might.
Oh, and we'll keep an eye on things because he's already got his lair on the way. He's getting a couple more gases. Like, we need to keep an eye on his worker count, his drone count, and whether or not he expands and takes a 4th base. And not just we, but Zest as well. Like, Zest, he needs to be more on top of his scouting. He needs to try and catch this a lot faster if Solar goes for another all-in.
Yeah, mostly using his Oracle right now as a means to deal damage when that's not all an Oracle can do.
Now, Oracles can see.
Yeah, into the future, some might even say.
But future's Terran.
And prophesize. It's saying build Nexuses. Forehead.
What if he's
Hydra then on the way.
What if he sandpapers the Nexus though?
Oh, and then does it get smoother or does it get rougher? It gets rougher first, but then it gets nice and smooth.
Okay, and you know what? Solar, he's not getting a 4th. Hey, he's not getting a 4th.
Well, I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Queen to start to waddle across. So we're just chasing the Oracle away. Okay, not gonna do any mass Queen marches unlike other players we've seen.
I will say that so far on 3 bases, it looks like it's going to be a little bit easier to defend here because there is like this center location where you can focus your stack defense on. Maybe Solar can avoid that if he attacks at the 3rd from the right-hand side, but we already see stack defenses being thrown down. This is something that Zest really lacked last game.
And he's really getting this game. But Solar's getting denied anyway.
Oh, is he? Oh, the overcharge!
Oh! He used the overcharge to save the overcharge!
Ooh, and after that happened, okay, Solar, he's backing off, he's droning up, he's getting a Baneling Nest, so this is not just like the previous game. He is gonna be mixing in a couple of Banelings.
Yeah, just in case Zest decides, you know what, I need something that can deal with Hydras other than Storms. We get some charges down, which he is working on charge. Zest still with a very healthy Void Ray count.
Oh yeah, definitely. And honestly, I like this from Solar because Solar is showing us that he isn't stubborn. He is willing to adapt to what his opponent's doing, and because of that, like, we see more upgrades on the way. He droned up as well. He's up to 60 workers instead. He still doesn't have a 4th, which is a little bit scary. Like, again, like, without that, you know, if the game goes on, it's going to be a little bit better for Zest. Like, Solar's going to have to make something happen with the amount of units that he's pumping out.
Which isn't a whole lot, I can tell you that much.
Oh.
Gonna set a couple of queens for it to aid in the battle.
Yeah, and you know what? Storm is not on the way. It's something that was delayed by Zest, so he's not gonna have any storms whatsoever for this attack. There are a lot of Hydras.
I hope Zest knows that.
Oh god.
Yeah, he's morphing his Templar.
He does, so maybe he can get a couple of Archons. He's got a decent amount of Void Rays. He's just desperately getting out whatever stack defense he can.
And he does have quite a bit available to him. Very good split here from Solar, only losing a single Ling and a single Baneling.
Yeah, the Stasis Wards absolutely baited by Solar, able to waste them, and now he's diving in with his Hydras.
Almost takes out a Void Ray. Does actually take out a single Void Ray. Nice connection onto a couple of sentries here, but not going to be quite enough. Solar trying to get a Concave, and it's kind of working. Battery Overcharge keeping a lot of Archons alive.
But all the Archons are going down. There are charge that's being morphed in, Dust desperately, and a surround as well.
Absolutely ideal right now for Zest. GG is called. Zest takes game number 2. Tying things up sideways 2-2, giving us the ace match.
Whew, that was that was close there. Like Zest, he knew the position he was in. He was like, "Oh my god, I need everything I can to defend." Again, like beautiful army control. Like he was never really committing with his void rays. Like the force fields were on point to try and segment off the army. So Sol was only really fighting the void rays with like half his army at a time. GG.
GG is called. I mean, I was looking at it, I thought for sure. I was looking at the map, and I thought for sure, you know, Zest moves one step out of position, so it's going to just come in with a massive surround. But force fields, they're pretty good.
They were pretty good. Zest, he just had what he needed to defend that big all-in. It was pretty interesting from Solar as well, because he kind of like pivoted away from his first attack, threw down a Baneling Nest, got a bunch of queens, and just went for like a big second wave. But Zest, he had what he needed, and now, as you said, we're getting into the ace match.
Our final map of this best of 5 semifinals. So I quickly refresh the bracket.
Oh yeah, it looks like
quickly refresh.
Yeah, it looks like we got an update from the upper semis.
So I quickly refresh, I see. But while that is on the way, we now load in onto Oxide LE. We do be breathing, we do be oxidizing. You gotta take them breaths and then make them exhale. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand, the red Zerg player coming out from South Korea, he is representing KaiZ Gaming, KZG. Looking a little shaky for the first time tonight, we have Sola.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, RYEG. We are tied up 2-2 in this best of 5. This is it. This is the ace match. It is Zest.
And as the bracket quickly gets refreshed, we do have an update there. Trap taking out Dark 3-0. Moving into the finals to face the winner of this one final map.
Ooh.
And I gotta tell you, Light, I'm not sure if Trap is able to 3-0 Dark. I don't think I favor either of these players' chances.
I was about to say, I did not expect Trap to 3-0 Dark. Like, that's an incredibly impressive performance there by Trap.
Yeah, 3-1 at least, if if Trap is really in a dominant form, but 3-0?
Oof.
Against Dark?
Yeah, that's
our most recent champion?
Yeah, I would not.
For TSL?
I would not like want to be Solar right now. Hearing that, it's like, oh my god, like that sounds terrifying. Maybe in a PvP, Zest has a better shot, especially since Zest was able to win last week. But yeah, Trap is on fire recently. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Like obviously, Trap is waiting for his opponent, but it could be either one of these players.
Yeah, is it going to be a PvP against the Protoss player who is renowned for his PvP and took out Trap last week? Or is it going to be a PvZ against the one of, if not the best Korean Zerg player currently in Solar?
Oh boy, that is going to be the question. Trap already took out Dark. He's looking to take out Solar if that happens. So far, we are on Oxide, and I'm sure it's going to be the name of the game once again. Zest, he's going to be going to that Stargate play. Solar, in the ace match, is he going to embrace the late game? Is that actually going to happen?
Well, we'll definitely see. I feel like on Oxide, you do get quite a lot of split map scenarios.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure last week we saw some split map ZVP on this. I recall, like Spore Forest. I think it was Rogue versus Zest. Was it? Maybe Stats. I can't quite recall.
Potentially.
Yeah, but we have seen late game on this map many a time. I'm sure like the rocks and things of that nature help out with that. It's quite a the rush distances can be quite long, especially early on.
As you already see, Lings unable to get in. Thanks, rush distance.
Thought you were about to say thanks, Russia.
Yeah, thanks, Russia. It's big. It's big like the rush distance of this map.
There we go. And oh, Zest is actually going for a double Oracle opening.
Make another. Make another.
Go triple Oracle, go.
Go triple and then go for a fourth.
Then just throw down another Stargate and just keep making Oracles.
Let's go!
Oh, so it's pretty interesting that Zest has decided to switch things up. I don't blame him. This feels like a very safe opener. Like, again, like Oracles, like double Oracle like this, they absolutely destroy Lings if Lings try and deny this third base. You're
joking about it, but there's a second Stargate coming out.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably for Void Race or maybe Phoenixes.
We'll see.
That's a third Oracle!
Wait. Really cancel it. It just got spotted by the Overlord. Like, is he really gonna go mass Oracle on us? Is it gonna happen?
I had the widest grin on my face right now.
Mate, it could be happening right now. We even brought it up earlier in the cast. Zest, he's done this before. He's been known to whip this out in a best of. What a madman to do this in the ace match.
And it actually worked out really well for him the last time he did it. So, yeah, why not?
Yeah, and just quickly checking like Solar's vision, like so far he has scouted the double Stargate. He hasn't seen a Void Ray yet, which may be a tell.
Hey, let's look at the protection tab right now, Light.
I know, it's happening. And oh my god, a Roach Warren's on the way.
That's how you deal with the Oracles, honestly.
Yeah, it's just, you know what, you have Oracles, it doesn't even matter, mate. I'm just gonna go Roach Ravager and just push on through and just end you.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot of energy to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, like Roaches, they're pretty beefy. It takes quite a bit to bust through. Meanwhile, Zest, he hasn't scouted. He's barely scouted this game whatsoever, so he's unaware. I do like that he is throwing down a bunch of gateways though, so he's not like, 100% committing to Oracles.
Yeah, always a quick little switch into Charge Floods or even Blix Stalkers would be helpful right now. Or soon.
Yeah, and here we go. The Queens have slowly marched across the map. We got Roaches, we got Lings here. Solar, he stopped drones at 41. This is his attack to end the game.
But is it gonna work? There's a whole lot of energy on these Oracles, but there's also a lot of them on the Queens. You should be able to at least take out this base, but I don't know, like, not all of these Queens are firing, not all of these Ravagers are firing.
Yeah.
A lot of the Lings also body blocked right now. Is Zest gonna do it?
We'll see. The Queens are starting to fall. There's a lot of energy left, but at the same time, there are only 3 Oracles remaining. I don't know if Zest really has enough. He's desperately trying to warp in more and more Zealots.
I think the answer is no here, Light. I think we are gonna be having another PvZ for our grand finals.
Oh god, it's definitely possible. The Oracles are out of energy. Like the shield batteries are out of energy as well. There's just not enough here for Zest.
Nowhere near enough. Gonna be going up into natural pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Recalls the Oracles, actually.
Oh, and a couple of the workers as well, trying to save whatever he can. I think he realizes that, okay, so Solar, he cut workers. Like, he's all in. Like, losing this third base isn't the end of the world if I can hold here at the natural and maybe go for a counterattack afterwards.
But that's also a bit of a big if here.
Yeah, definitely. Oh god, he's trying desperately to hold on here, but the Oracles are falling. They just don't have enough energy. Some Void Rays would have been beautiful here to help defend, but there are none in sight.
Yeah, that is a bit of a drawback to style.
Oh boy.
A
Yeah.
lot of gateways he powered, and yeah, this is looking more and more pessimistic for Zest.
Exactly, and this is the great thing about Solar. Solar's got so many builds up his sleeve. He's got all different kinds of all-ins for different scenarios, for different situations. He decided to whip out this big Queen march across the map. He's here, and there just isn't enough here for Zest. Like, everything at the natural is going to go down.
GG. Solar gonna be our second finalist of ESL Open Cup Asia, going up to face Trap. Boy, oh boy, and if Solar just quickly refreshes the bracket over there, I'm not sure what he's feeling.
To be fair, Solar and Dark are very different Zerg players. As we just saw, Solar, he does have like a wide variety of different all-ins and different like styles of aggression. Part of me feels like Dark is the kind of player to kind of macro it out against Trap, and maybe that was his downfall. So maybe Solar, he has that going for him, and maybe he can catch Trap off guard.